Samanta Cakkavalesu Atra Gaccantu Devata Saddhammang Munirajassa Sunantu Sagga Mokkadam Dhammasavana Kalo Ayam Bhadanta Dhammasavana Kalo Ayam Bhadanta Dhammasavana Kalo Ayam Bhadanta Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Yo ca buddhaṃ ca dhammaṃ ca saṅghaṃ ca saraṇaṃ gato cantāri ariya saccāni sammappanyāya passati etaṃ ko saraṇaṃ kemaṃ etaṃ saraṇamuttamam Etaṃ saranamāgamma sabba dukkha pamuñcatu. Dear Dhamma friends, we are going to start our weekly Dhamma class, and you are given a handout about the Threefold gem or the Threefold Refuge. That is one of the very special topics in Buddhism, especially from beginning to end. On the path of purification, we may have clear knowledge what the Threefold gem is. That is very important. Who is the Buddha? Who is his teaching? Who is his noble disciple? We may have clear knowledge. That is very important. Last week we discussed about very important things, that how do we overcome unsatisfactoriness, and also why do we find a spiritual teacher and his teachings. I think all of you have heard about that. Why do we need a spiritual teacher and his teaching? Can you remember? There are some reasons. One of them is, the first one is old age. Old age. We are growing up day by day, and we are on the path of the old age. Whether we like or not, whether we know or not, day by day we are growing up. We are going to the weaknesses. That is the nature of our life. That is one of the reasons we should find a spiritual teacher and his teachings. When we are very young, we have a lot of friends. We are okay, we are happy. When our close friends and relatives go away, when they go to die, gradually we are going to unsatisfactoriness. We are worried. We worry, we suffer. When we have a good appearance in our physical body, we are happy. When little by little our good complexion is going to bad situation, then we worry. That is one of the reasons we have to find a spiritual teacher. If we know the Buddha's message, if we have practiced this message, we can live with happiness in the old age as much as we were in the young age. Old age is one of the reasons that we have to find a spiritual teacher. That is the first reason. What is the second reason? Yeah, sickness. Sometimes we become the sicknesses, we are sick, but sometimes we are not sick. Therefore, Buddha said not a reason that we find the spiritual teacher sickness. The first reason is old age. We definitely become the old age. These are the very compulsory and very certain reasons that Buddha said. Sickness is not the certain reason. Sometimes we are not sick. In Buddha's period, there is a monk named Bakula. He became the ordination at the age of 80. After he ordained, he lived another 80 years. He died at the age of 160. During his lifetime, he had no any disease, any sickness. And therefore, but Buddhism says that you reflect on about your sickness. You may become the sickness. Sometimes, anytime the physical body is ready to some kind of sicknesses. That is the nature of our physical body. Reflecting on sickness is very useful to practice some kind of spiritual things. That is very important. But it is not a reason here. Here there are special reasons. Certain definite reasons. One of them is old age.
Death?
Yeah, death. You are correct. Very good. Second reason is death. Definitely we are supposed to die. That is one of the reasons that we have to find a spiritual teacher and his teaching. When we die, although we have a lot of facilities, although we have a lot of money, we have nothing after we die. Suddenly, in a second, we lose everything that we earned, even our physical body. That is one of the reasons we have to practice this message. The second reason is death. The third one is, what is the third one? That is one of the very important things. That rebirth. Very good. Most of people in the world, they practice some spiritual teachings because of death. But Buddhism says, death is not the major reason that we have to practice this message. Death is not the serious problem in our life, according to Buddhism. According to Buddhism, our big challenge that we have to face in the future is rebirth. If all things end after we die, we can live any way that we like. But according to our mental situation, we will be reborn. That is one of the reasons that we have to find a spiritual teacher and practice this knowledge, this message. What are the three reasons that we have to find a spiritual teacher and practice this message? First one is old age, death, and rebirth. That is very important. Although these things are in the future, but we practice this message in the present moment. We can see in the world, most of religions and philosophers explain their teachings in the name of the success of hereafter. But significance in Buddhism is that we practice this message not only the success of hereafter or end of the life, but when we practice this message, the results are visible. We can see the results at the moment as soon as you are going to practice this message. If you practice loving kindness, you have no anger. You don't worry when somebody has mistake. The result you earn you get in the present moment if you have mindfulness, knowledge and wisdom. These three things are very important. Knowledge, mindfulness, wisdom. What they are? Knowledge, mindfulness, wisdom. These three things are interrelated. These three things are together. Anything you lost, actually you lost other two things too. Knowledge is very important, but knowledge is not enough. If you have a map that where you have to go, although you have a map, if you don't drive, you are here. You have to drive to the place. Map is the first thing. Driving, when you drive, it seems like mindfulness. And on the path, step by step, you are reflecting on the destination. Seeing the destination, yes?
Now they have the GPS, so it's so easy.
Yeah, GPO, map for anything, all of them in the same thing. You are correct. Even though you have a GPS,
It tells you where to go.
Yeah.
Any Jumbo can understand.
Yeah, it is correct. It is correct. Even though you have a navigator, if you don't drive, you can't reach to the destination.
Yes.
Map and GPS is same. Map for memory, or sometimes a friend of yours say the road. You have memory, you have science where you pass. Then with the memory you drive. In the earliest time, in the past, we do like that. We don't have maps, we didn't have the maps, we didn't have the GPS. We have only memory. We drove, we walked, we went there. However, these three things are very important: knowledge, mindfulness and wisdom. What is the knowledge that we have?
Knowledge of Dhamma.
What is the knowledge of Dhamma? What kind of knowledge that you have?
Is it knowledge through experience, knowledge through hearing, and knowledge through intellectual understanding?
What is the knowledge of intellectual thing?
It's like processing your experience, right?
Yeah.
And learning from your experience. Getting insight.
Yeah. According to Buddhism, our knowledge can be divided into two, as I mentioned before you. The first step of the knowledge is the knowledge of karmic law. That's the very first level, beginning level. That is very important. Karmic law. What is the karmic law? When we do something with pure mind, we will have the good result because of pure mind. When we do something with wicked mind, we will have the bad results because of polluted mind. This is the knowledge that we accumulate in the first step in the name of happiness, in the name of purification. If we have this knowledge, we try to overcome evil and we try to develop good deeds with pure mind every moment. We get the result of our time, of our life, practicing good deeds every moment, such as practicing morality, or practicing meditation. Through these three kind of meritorious deeds, we practice good. We practice our peace of mind. Buddha said very clearly, practicing merit means decorating your mind. When you do good deeds, it means you decorate your mind. Your mind is beautiful when you do good deeds in your mind. That is very important. As I got some example before you. When we offer something, some flowers for the Buddha, Buddha doesn't need flowers. When we offer flowers, our mind is very so quiet and calm, very pleasant. When you offer something to others, you are so generous. Your mind is very pure and calm. That is why we have to accumulate, we have to develop these good deeds. When you offer something to other child, something concerning that son or daughter, like your son or daughter, then your mind is very pleasant. You wish that person success. As the result of that wish, your daughter or son also will succeed. That is the nature of this karmic law. This is the first level knowledge that we have to develop in our life for the happiness. Knowledge. You know, before the Lord Buddha appeared in the world, there were some persons who believed the karmic law. Explaining the karmic law is not a new topic in Buddhism. Before he enlightened, a lot of people in the world who believe this concept, but there are some differences. However, the second step is also very important. What is the second step of karmic law? Knowledge. What is the second step of knowledge? That is very important. Actually, last time I gave you another handout. Before 2 weeks ago, I gave you another handout and giving it you again. And all important doctrines are here. Concerning that is also very important. Then all important topics are here. Then I have given that example, the knowledge, I think here, and the page, 4th page down, and it says the knowledge that the first level of knowledge is karmic law, the second level of the knowledge is dependent origination or impermanence. That is the very, very important, which is unique in Buddhism. Nowhere it says. Nowhere we can find it. It is only in Buddhism. This is not a creation, as I mentioned before. This is not a creation in Buddhism. This is one of the discoveries that Buddha did. Buddha said, whether a Buddha appeared or not in the world, this reality is forever. We respect to the Buddha because he understood, he realized, he discovered this reality by himself without any help from others. That is why we respect to the Buddha. That is why we pay our gratitude to the Buddha. The knowledge is very important. With this knowledge, we have to practice mindfulness. What is the mindfulness? Mindfulness also can be divided into four mindfulness, fourfold mindfulness. The contemplation of body, the contemplation of feelings, the contemplation of mental formations, and the contemplation of consciousness or mind. We reflect on all our experience in our life, mentally and physically. We practice full awareness. practicing mindfulness means we are living in the present moment. When some ideas come to our mind, we know very well these ideas come this moment. We can see the past or future, but always we live in the present moment because of mindfulness. That is very important. With this mindfulness, we have to reflect on impermanence or dependent origination, or Paticcasamuppada, or Hetuphala Dhamma. That is very important. Then, today I am going to explain you very important topic. As I explained before, the significance of the triple gem. What is the triple gem? Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. Why do we say they are gems?
Because we don't want to lose them. They're precious.
When we earn some gems or some jewelry, we wish our happiness, success. If we have a lot of gems or jewelry, it means when we think about them, we are happy. Not only happiness, we have
precious thing.
On the other hand, we are afraid of that somebody steal them. Then sometimes you can't leave your home if you have a lot of jewelry or gems at home. However, when you think about your things that are very valuable, always you search them. When you think about them, you are happy. Not only materials, but sometimes if you have son or daughter, if you have your parents or close friends, when you think them, you mention them as your wealth. That is why sometimes you say some persons, you are like my gem, you are like my jewelry. When you think about them, you are so happy. Why you are happy? If they have good qualities, if you have close relationship with them, if you think they are very honest, you like them. Sometimes you like them than your properties, than your money, than your gems. That is why if you have close friends or relatives, if they are sick, you will spend all things that you have for their health. But the nature of these things are not happy always. Sometimes they are happy, sometimes they give you suffering. That happiness can be changed. That happiness can be changed. Can change. That is the nature of the outside things. But according to Buddhism, we trust fully about our mind. Now we trust in our outside things, gems or jewelry, or our children, our properties, our appearance, our body also outside. If we trust fully in our mind, that is the advice Buddha said us. If we can develop the trust of our mind, it means other persons or things can disturb our peace of mind. We are going to be strong with our mind, with positive thoughts, and we see the real thing, we see the reality in the world through our mind with wisdom. When we go on this path, the triple gem is very important. That is why, according to Buddhism, Understanding of these three things, the triple gem is very important. What is the first thing? The Buddha. When we consider Buddha, we consider not only his physical body, we reflect on his qualities, his enlightenment. That is very important. Whether we see or not the Buddha physically, if we can understand his noble qualities through his doctrine, we can see the Buddha. We trust in here that Buddha's enlightenment. Buddha means Buddha's enlightenment. That is very important. One day, there was a monk who named Wakali. Wakali was very happy looking with Buddha's appearance. Buddha said, Wakali, looking at this body is not useful. This body is supposed to die, supposed to old age. This is not important. You see Dhamma. You see the Dhamma. If you see the Dhamma, you can see me through Dhamma. Then he practiced Dhamma. He could attain the enlightenment. And the first thing is the confidence. Buddha's enlightenment is very important. You know, when you go to a doctor, first of all, you may have some sort of confidence that person has qualifications. That is why you go there. When you go to a college, you have confidence about your teachers. That is why you are in the classroom. When you go to some place, when you drive, when you start to drive, you have confidence about your vehicle. That is why you start to drive. Anywhere, if you do something, we have some kind of confidence. Especially when you go on the path of purification, that is a very higher level thing. There, we should have clear understanding or confidence. But that confidence increases when we go on the path. At the very beginning, we may have less confidence, but that confidence increases little by little when you practice this path. For example, when you have a map before you are going to some journey, first of all you see the road map, the buildings that you have to pass, you see all of them. When you drive, when you see those things, your confidence increases little by little that I am reaching to the destination. This path also like that.
This is realization.
Yeah, practicing this knowledge through our life, we have self-realization. And the belief in Buddha's enlightenment is very important in the first level. The second level is the Buddha's message, what he taught to the world. According to first level, the confidence, Buddha's enlightenment, when we consider Buddha, although we say, I go to the Buddha for refuge, the refuge depends on how much we practice this message. Buddha explained, I am not a savior. I am not a reincarnation of a God. I am not a God. I can't secure you. Your security, your defense depends on your practice. I am only a teacher. I am only a guide. Going on the path is your duty. I am not a savior. I am not a messenger of a God. Buddha explained his nature very clearly. And second level, understanding of Buddha's message, what he explained. As I mentioned before, he explained the karmic law and dependent origination. Knowing of karmic law means the path for the heaven. Saggamagga. Buddha explained both ways. The first path is to go to the heaven. Saggamagga. How do we go to the Sagga? How do we come back to the human world? How do we go to the heaven? Practicing good deeds. That is the first step that a person should practice. We can say when we die. After we die, if we go to the down, it is a big fault in our life. Therefore, every moment we should try to develop our mind with good ideas, good attitude. Every moment we try to help others. We should wish to others success. It means we hope to our success. When other persons are sick, if we happy, it means we wish the sicknesses of our close friends and relatives. If we wish other success, it means our children, our close relatives also succeed because of our attention, because of our wish. That is very important. Then this is the first level. How do we go to the heaven or come back to the human world? And when we come back, we may have better life. That is why every moment we have to develop our mind in a correct way with practicing good deeds. Practicing generosity, practicing good discipline or morality, practicing meditation. These are the things that we do as meritorious deeds in our life. Every moment we can practice. Not only offering something, spending money. If we can practice meditation, that is the best way we practice our mind in the correct way. The second step is the moksha magga. How do we go to the end of the suffering? How we go to the liberation or cessation for the suffering, from the suffering. That is the second level that Buddha explained. Every meditation technique, we focus to this level. One day, some Buddha's disciples went to another religious place. When they went there, some of them asked those monks, Reverend Sir, we also practice loving kindness. Your teacher, the Lord Buddha, also explained the nature of the loving kindness. Both of us are same. At that moment, those monks had no answer. They were silent. They came back to the Buddha and they asked Buddha, Reverend Sir, we had this experience, we had these things, today we went to another place, and then at that moment Buddha said, oh monks, why were you silent? You had to say something. According to primary level, loving kindness, practicing loving kindness meditation is same, but we do all meditation techniques focusing the final goal, which is cessation from suffering, focusing enlightenment, focusing impermanence. They practice loving kindness only for concentration or tranquility. The tranquility or concentration is not the destination in Buddhism. Buddhist destination in the path is getting rid of suffering. When we practice loving kindness, we don't stop in loving kindness. With the concentrated mind, we practice our mind with impermanence, seeing, ceasing and arising. Then, after concentration, we go to another level, the higher level, that wisdom, practicing impermanence. That is the Buddha's answer. That is why every Buddha's doctrines focus on final goal. Seeing impermanence, cessation, suffering. That is the Mokkha Magga, the way to the liberation. As much as you have practiced this message, you have overcome some kind of sufferings in your life. If you practice loving kindness meditation, you can overcome 40 or 50% sufferings in your day-to-day life. If you can practice dead meditation, and there are other meditation like such as breathing meditation, you can overcome 60%, 70% sufferings in your life. If you are living every moment with the practice of impermanence, even though you don't become the final goal or enlightenment, if you are living with sane impermanence, it means at that moment you have overcome 90% sufferings in your life. Be happy. Try to practice mindfulness and wisdom. While you are studying, while you are doing your duties in your day-to-day life, while you are working, doing your jobs, we can practice this message if we have knowledge, mindfulness, and wisdom. These three things are very important. However, according to our handout, we are discussing about the Threefold Gem. The first one is Buddha or his enlightenment. The second one is his message. His all teachings include one stanza, that Sabba Papa Sakaranam. That is a very important topic, important stanza or verse in Buddhism. It is same for all Buddhas who were in the world. Not to do any evil. Kusala Supasambhada, practice good. Sachitta Pariyodapana, purify one's mind from negative thoughts, such as anger, desire, jealousy, hatred, ill will, ignorance, those which disturb your peace of mind. And this is Buddha's message. Actually, when we consider Buddha's message, we can think, we can find a lot of doctrines in Buddhism. All of them are in this handout. You can see as main doctrines. If your knowledge is better, if your knowledge is very high, it means you are rich in knowing this fact. For example, if you ask some road or something somewhere that you like to go, if a person explain only one or two things, it is very difficult to find the destination. If that person explain many things on the way, it is very easy to find the destination. Knowing a lot of things in Buddhism as doctrines, that is why it is more important. Especially, Buddha said one day very clearly, there are some things as an intelligent person that we have to reflect, we have to know. What is that? We have to know the five aggregates. Panchaskandha. Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vijnana. Rupa means matter or forms, Vedana feelings, and Sanya perception, Sankhara mental formations, Vijnana mind or consciousness. These five things is our life. If we have some kind of experience through our senses, it means these five things arise at the moment, not only arising, but suddenly it ceases. They cease.
That's the 5 skandhas? Is that
Five skandha, upadana skandha, 5 aggregates. Yeah, if you see something, if you hear something, if you smell something, if you eat something, if you have some feelings in your physical body, it means these 5 things arise together. These 5 things cannot be divided. That's the interesting thing.
Sorry, real quick. The skandhas, 5 skandhas are different than the 6 senses, right?
Yeah, actually 6 senses means how we get this experience. 6 senses, although we have 6 senses, it has only 1 sense. When you see something, you have only that same experience. When you hear something through your ears, you have only sound. However, these 5 things are together. It cannot be divided. But those 6 senses definitely separated. But because of our ignorance, we think all of 6 senses are together. Always they are together. For example, now you can see my body, you can see my voice, you can have some feelings with your chair. All things you may think that all things are together. But all of them are separated. Once you have only one experience through only one sense. But, however, the 5 aggregates are together. When you see this one, your eye, your physical eye, and this is form. And also feelings, good or bad feelings, and sanya, and sankhara, mental formations, your mind. All of them are together. Because of all of them are together, you can see this one. And also this experience suddenly arises and ceases. We go to the another experience through another sense. That is the nature of the life. We can see only colors through our sense, through our eyes. Only colors. We can see only sound through our eyes. When others come to our mind, we have some signs. We have some kind of identification about these things. But we have only sound. When I say something, you imagine, you think that Bhante says these things. But however, another person who is here, he speaks something with another language that you can't understand. How is that? You can understand my voice, but you can't understand that person's voice. But be sure, the sound is same. In this way, you get like these things, comparing your previous experience another way, according to your mental formations. If your view is correct, suffering doesn't come to you. If your attitude is very low, without wise reflection, suffering comes to you.
Is it because of delusion?
Because of delusion. We get only sound through our ears. Another thing that with sense of mind, we get other things. We create other things. But sound is same. Form also same. And for example, when a person comes here, who is your enemy, then you get angry. That same person is my close friend, my best friend. What happens to me? Yeah, I am so happy. But that person, that shadow is, when that shadow comes to our eye, the color only comes to my mind. Other things created by my mind.
So that's mental formation.
Mental formations and senses and feelings. Other things are another thing, another day. Bit closely, according to our attitude, we create suffering. If we have fully awareness, if we have full attention or mindfulness with wisdom, we can see anything, we can hear anything, but we can classify it. We can classify it, we can divide those things according to the senses and five aggregates. We can overcome suffering, see in the impermanence.
So if you see your mom, you have that feeling of loving you, love. That's, is it also part of the delusion or the mental formation?
Actually, we can have relationship, we can have memory. It is not the fault. It is not the fault. Even Buddha also went to visit his parents. Even Sariputta went to preach to his mom. It is not the fault. Relationship or memory is not the fault. What is the fault? Yeah, because of delusion, as soon as we look at that person, we go to the previous experience. We go to the past. We live in the past. If your mom is very sick, you cry. When you cry, you think about your mom's service that she did for you. You live in the past experience. That is why suffering, that is why you worry. If Arahants come to that experience, if that sick person is his own mom or dad, he also can remember that previous experience. But he doesn't worry. What is the reason? He has good memory. He is so gratitude. He is so grateful. He has gratitude. But he doesn't run to the past. He knows very well that previous experience arises and ceases at that moment. Now this experience arises this moment. He lives in the present moment, seeing the past and future. He has full attention, full awareness, full mindfulness. He do his duties for his mom or dad. But he has no suffering. As a grateful daughter, you can take care of your mom. It is not the fault, it is your duty. If you have not this understanding, when you take care of your mom, you suffer, you worry, you may cry. If you have this knowledge, you can take care of your mom. You can be sympathy about your mom. You can help your mom without suffering, without crying.
Without attachment?
Attachment means sometimes attachment with desire. Sometimes we have attachment without desire. Attachment means it can be described in several ways.
Selfish?
Yeah, sometimes some people have attachment. When they go away, they are angry. It is not that attachment with desire, with defilement. Buddha also had attachment with his past departed mom. That is why he went to Tavatinsa and preached to his mom. He had attachment, he had relationship, but he had no desire. He had no big attachment. Because of no delusion, no ignorance. Some people in the world, they have attachment, they have relationship without desire, without defilement. That is good. They do They fulfill their duties and responsibilities in the name of their parents or relatives or friends. It is not bad. The bad thing is when we do something with ignorance, then we have attachment. Not only attachment, we have defilement. If we have defilement, when they go away, we angry. We are sad, we worry because of ignorance. We can fulfill our duties for our parents or for our husbands, wives, children without ignorance. Refusing or ceasing ignorance, we can help others with attachment. Attachment sometimes is not bad. We should have attachment. That is why you help your mom. That is why you help your relatives to come and see this message, listening to this message, because of your attachment. That attachment is not bad. Because of you are wise, because of you have your wisdom, your intelligence, your understanding, you help others because of attachment without ignorance. That is not bad. That is why we have to understand attachment sometimes is good with understanding.
And you let them go. You let all those, what you spoke about, let it go. Let Lord Buddha, that his son, he gave him wisdom, everything, but he didn't get attachment. He let them go.
Yeah, actually, he has compassion for his only son, Reverend Rahul. He has the same compassion. He had same compassion for the Devadatta too. And because of, Buddha helped a lot of his relatives. He gave the chance to his many relatives to come and observe, come and ordain to the manhood because of relationship, because of kindness. But when they have misbehavior, when Reverend Devadatta did some bad deeds, he didn't get angry. He didn't worry because of understanding. He didn't hate because of understanding. That is the difference. Okay, however, understanding is very important. If you have this understanding, you do help others more than you hadn't this understanding. It's clear? Little by little we will discuss other things too. Especially we have to discuss these special things. However, Buddha explained, if you are intelligent, you have to know only things that 5 aggregates. Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vijnana. It means every moment, if you have any kind of experience through your senses, it means these 5 things arise and cease. That is only you have, whether you like or not. For example, if you have a vehicle, you can catch it with your hands. You have to only drive when you have a journey. If you want to eat something, that food is related to only your mouth. You can't keep it in your eye or head or your purse. Then through these senses, we have only 5 aggregates. Although you think I have a big house, I have a very comfortable vehicle, I have that degrees. Although we think about that, we have actually this present experience. Even though you have a lot of beds in your home, You want only one bed, one time. Although you have a lot of plates in your cupboard, you want only one plate once. That is on your life. On the other hand, we have only one idea once, one thought once, through only one sense. That means, although it is one, we have 5 aggregates every moment. It is not permanent. Every moment it arises and ceases. Because of ignorance, we think it is permanent. That is the cause of suffering. That is the reason of suffering. That misconception that we have to overcome. Seeing, listening this message, reflecting this message, meditating. And Buddha said, if you are intelligent, you have to know only things that understand of 5 aggregates. As much as you have this knowledge, it means you are ready to overcome suffering, if you are intelligent. On the other hand, if you are intelligent, you have to overcome only 2. That avidya and bhavatanha. Avidya means ignorance, bhavatanha is big attachment to reborn, to be reborn. You have to overcome only 2. If you are intelligent, if you are wise.
Avidya means ignorance?
Avidya means ignorance or delusion. Bhavatanha means attachment to be reborn. Sometimes we don't like to reborn, but unconsciously, when we think something, if you have idea that is there, it means we are ready to go back. Whether you like or not, whether you wish or not.
So even if you don't wish to be born again, you will be born.
Yeah, even though you don't like to be reborn, when you have some experience through your senses, if you think they are there, when you think something, when you hear something, when you smell something, suddenly if you run to the past or future, it means you are ready to come back.
What is vibhava?
Vibhava tanha means some people think that I have no rebirth. That is vibhava tanha. But we don't have to overcome vibhava tanha. When we overcome bhava tanha, the wish to be reborn, if we can overcome, suddenly other things, vibhava tanha also cease.
Like Christians don't believe in being reborn, so they are vibhava tanha.
No, not Christians. Most of them believe next birth. They believe next birth. How about Mr. Devi? Even Christians, they also believe next birth. Even they go to the God or hell or anywhere.
Right.
Yeah, most of them believe next birth. Whether hell or heaven.
But only one chance.
Yeah, one chance. Yeah, I know. That's all. Even though it is only one chance, that is also rebirth. That's also rebirth. That is also rebirth. After they will be reborn, they have another chance. They have only one chance after they will be reborn.
Yeah. But they don't understand any of the...
Yeah, I know. Yeah. However, if you are intelligent, you have to overcome only 2, avidya, bhava tanha. It means, avidya means ignorance, and also bhava tanha, it means the wishes of to be reborn. On the other hand, if you are intelligent, you have to practice only 2 things. That is very interesting. The discourse, the name of the discourse is Abhijna. Abhijna, the discourse of Abhijna. Actually, one of weeks I have explained that topics too. If you are intelligent, you have to understand only 5 things. If you are intelligent, you have to overcome only 2 things, avidya and bhavatanha. If you are intelligent, you have to practice only 2. That's samatha and vipassana. Samatha means practice in mindfulness. Vipassana means practice in wisdom or intelligence. You have to develop only 2 things. Mindfulness means awareness of your body and mind. Every moment, what happens to my mind and body? Practice in awareness or mindfulness. That is samatha. Vipassana means with the samatha mind, with the concentrated mind, with tranquility mind, if we can practice impermanence, that is the thing vipassana. If you are intelligent. On the other hand, if you are intelligent, you can realize, you can receive only 2 things. That vidya, vimukti, understanding and liberation. That is a very nice discourse. The result, that is the result. If you are on this path, the results are free. You don't need to earn results. If you pay money for the flight, when you get a seat in the flight, you have the destination, whether you like or not. That is the result that you paid. This path also like that. If you practice mindfulness and wisdom, the results that vidya and vimukti, knowledge and vimukti, liberation, will be received free. That is the nature of this path. We are discussing about the Buddha's doctrines, the teachings of the Buddha, or second step, that the Dhamma. There are many discourses in Buddha's message. There are some discourses which explained the steps. One day, Buddha explained the final goal, final purpose of practicing this path is liberation. For the liberation, you have a path. What is the path? That 7 enlightened factors, Sattva-bodhanga. For the practicing of 7 enlightened factors, you have to practice 4 mindfulness, 4-fold mindfulness. Khayanupassana, contemplation of body. Vedanupassana, contemplation of feelings. Chittanupassana, contemplation of consciousness. Dhammanupassana, contemplation of mental formations. When you practice mindfulness, automatically the 7 enlightened factors increase. When 7 enlightened factors increase, gradually you can reach to the final destination, vimukti or liberation. If you want to practice mindfulness, suddenly you can start mindfulness. Before you start mindfulness, you have another thing. What is that?
Knowledge. To have the knowledge is knowledge.
Before knowledge, we have, after knowledge, no. We have a very close thing. There is another closer thing, that discipline, senses. Discipline of our senses. Discipline of our eye, discipline of our ear. We have some kind of good discipline in our senses before you are going to practice mindfulness. Before indriya samvara or discipline, you may have another thing, that 3 discipline in your body, words and mind. Physically, mentally and verbally, you may have discipline for the other discipline of six senses. For these three disciplines, you may have another thing, sati sampajanya. Sati means mindfulness, the primary level, surface level mindfulness, and also primary level understanding. For the sati sampajanya, we may have another thing, wise reflection, yoniso manasikara. If you have wise reflection, you may have sati sampajanya, or knowledge and knowledge as understanding. And when you have sati sampajanya, you have three disciplines, verbally, mentally and physically. When you have three disciplines, you may have six senses discipline. And when you have six senses discipline, you may have four mindfulness, Satra Satipatthana. If you have four mindfulness, you may have seven enlightenment factors, Satta Bojjhanga. When you have seven factors of enlightenment, you have liberation. Liberation is near. Not only that, you have another thing. If you want to develop your wise reflection, you may have another thing. What is that? That is the saddha or confidence. The confidence in the triple gems. For the confidence of triple gem or saddha, you may have another thing. Listening to this message. When you are listening to this message, you may have saddha, other things. Before you are going to listening to this message, you may have another thing, which is the most important, which is that associating a good friend. That friend may be a living person, website, book or CD. Because of the technology is very rich in this period, that person is not always a living person. And the first step of this path is associating with a good friend. If you are going to associate with that person, you also should have qualities. You should be sensitive with good qualities. If you have no primary good qualities, even though you meet a good friend, that person cannot be identified. You can't understand, you can't identify that person whether he is good or bad. If you are not intelligent, if you have no good qualities, that is very important. This is the path. When we describe these things, all doctrines are very important. Little by little, we have to increase our knowledge. That is very important. This is the second gem, that is the Dhamma. What is the third one? Sangha. Sangha means not only monks, but sometimes enlightened lay persons too. They also Sangha. Who received this results, or who are receiving, who are practicing this message with good understanding, those are the people who are Sangha. And if we have confidence about these three things, it means we are living with gems. When we think about those things, we are so happy, our mind is very pleasant, because we are living with Sangha, we are living with Dhamma, we are living with Buddha, even though Buddha passed away. When we think something, always our mind is full with these three things. Some negative ideas have no chance to come to our mind. Although we are alone, we are living with these three things. Now we are happy when our relatives and friends are together. But if we have this confidence, even though we have no friends or relatives, especially when we are alone, we are so happy. Now we are happy when our relatives and friends with us. But our happiness is decided when we are alone, how much we are happy. Sometimes some people, when they are with their friends, they are laughing, they are shouting, they are so happy. But when they are alone, what happens to them? They have no happiness. They are like crying. They are so poor with happiness when they are alone. But be sure, real happiness depends on how much you are happy when you are alone in your room. It means our happiness depends on our attitude, our mind, our thoughts. If we have good thoughts, positive thoughts, with good understanding, it means negative ideas have no chance to come to our mind and disturb our peace of mind. Buddhism always encourages us to develop our mental situation, our mind. How do we develop our mind in correct way, practicing this message? Then we fully trust in our mind, in our attitude, in our positive thoughts, with correct view, right understanding. Right understanding is the very, very important thing. The first thing is the Eightfold Path. You know, Sammaditthi? Sammaditthi is the most important thing that we have to develop. For developing right understanding, again and again, we have to listen to this message. We monks also every day listening to some sermon. Not only you. That is very important. As much as we are ready to listen to this message, that real message come to be permanent in our memory. That is very important. When we listening to this message with full awareness, it means at that moment we are living with Dhamma. We have no suffering. We have no disturbances when we are reflecting on Dhamma. And if we have these three things in our life, it means we know very well how suffering arises. And how do we overcome suffering? If we have full understanding about these three things, because one of them is Dhamma, we know very well how do we overcome suffering. If we have no understanding, if we have ignorance or delusion, it means we suffer. If we have no knowledge about ceasing and arising, which is impermanence at dependent origination, it means we suffer. If we have always mindfulness and knowledge of wisdom or impermanence, it means at that moment suffering can disturb our peace of mind. Suffering is created by ourselves. That person, as I got the example, that person is my best friend. Sometimes he or she is your enemy. You worry, I am happy. The person is same. According to our attitude, we suffer or worry. If we have clear knowledge, whether that person is enemy or best friend, we are middle. We are equal. We have equanimity. Buddhism always advises us to develop the equanimity. Big attachment or detachment, both of them are reasons of suffering. When we practice this message, we practice the equanimity. Whether a person good or bad, our mental condition is equal for both of them. Buddhism always helps us to develop this equanimity. And if we have knowledge about the triple gem, it means we know very well the reason of suffering and the cause of suffering and the cessation of suffering and the path of cessation of suffering that leads to get rid of suffering, the Eightfold Path. And when you read this article, you can have more understanding. At least one time try to read this article when you go back to home. And if you have any question, you can ask Mr. Eric, Mr. David.
I'm reading a book right now. I believe it's called Pottapada Sutra.
Pottapada Sutra, yes.
It talks about one part where just in the first 3 chapters or something, they speak about the contemplation during, I don't know if it's meditative contemplations, but it's like you're supposed to think of the Buddha and his qualities as an artist.
Yeah, I know.
And then the
Buddha, it is like there is another. There are 40 meditation techniques. There is Buddhanusati, Sanghanusati, contemplation of Buddha's qualities, contemplation of noble disciples' qualities. That also some kind of meditation techniques. And actually, from the beginning to end, we have to develop the confidence about the triple gem. When we think about Buddha's qualities, our confidence increases gradually. That is very important. Buddha explained that if we have real confidence, that confidence comes to our body, it absorbs to our body, through our skin, through our skeleton, it goes to inside, that confidence. That is why Buddha said, confidence and energy are together. As much as confidence about this triple gem, it means we have courage. We have to practice this knowledge promptly, without delay in this life, before we go to the sicknesses, before we go to old age.
Virya, the energy. The virya and the energy.
Yeah, energy, virya, strength. Yeah. As much as we have confidence, our energy, virya, increases. And we don't be late, we don't get delayed because of our confidence. As much as we have confidence that we can see the results, why we get late?
No doubt. The more we practice it, the more results we get, the more energy, strength we get.
Yeah, as much as we have confidence, seeing this result, we are ready to go fast on this path. That is very important. Buddha explained one day, the other things, when we do something, when we study, we have to wait at least 4 years for a degree. When we earn some money, we have to delay, we have to wait until end of the month. The results are late, but these results are visible. As soon as you start to practice this message, you can see the result through your life, not from outside. Now we mostly see the result from the outside, from other friends, from our parents, from our relatives, friends. We mostly wish our success or happiness from outside. But here, we fully trust in our mind, practicing this message through our life. That experience, that happiness is very strong and permanent. Nobody can disturb that permanent happiness. That is more important. That is why again and again we have to know this message, we have to listen to this message and try to live with these three things every moment. Try to develop this period that you reflect on these three things in your day-to-day life. While you are doing anything in your day-to-day life.
It's a practical philosophy.
Yeah, practicable thing, We may have only knowledge and mindfulness. If we have mindfulness, it means we are not away from the meditation. If we have mindfulness, it means we are with meditation. Whether you drive or cook or work, anything. If you do it consciously, with mindfulness, it means you are in meditation. On the other hand, it means you are living with happiness. You have no suffering. You don't worry. If you worry, be sure that you have no mindfulness. If we are with mindfulness, we have no jealousy, we have no anger, we have no big attachment, we have no jealousy, it means we are happy. Happiness is the final goal of practicing these all things. That everybody likes to become happiness, but even though they like to become happiness, but they waste their time doing other things. This is the real way that Buddha explained to in the name of real happiness. For that, let's try again and again. I think you have enough courage, you have enough facilities. You are so lucky, that is why you are here listening to this message, and try to develop our knowledge and practicing these things in our day-to-day life, and try to get the results in this life. Okay, thank you so much for your coming. Now we are going to transfer this medicine for our beloved departed relatives. May they receive this medicine, may they receive good life. With that intention, let's transfer this medicine to our beloved departed relatives. Idam me ñāti nam hotu sukhita hontu ñāt. Idam me ñāti nam hotu sukhita hontu ñāt. Idam me ñāti nam hotu sukhita hontu ñātayo. We accumulated a lot of good energies, powers in this moment. With the power of these all merits, may guardian deities and angels, they also receive these merits, they keep their eye on you too. May they receive their final wish of liberation. With that intention, let's transfer these merits, guardian deities and angels too. Ettavata ca amhehi sambhatang punya sampadam sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ettavata ca amhehi sambhatang punya sampadam sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ettavata ca amhehi sambhatang punya
Sambe devanumodantu Samba sampatti siddhya. By the power of all these merits, may you be well, happy and peaceful. May your all good ideas be successful. May you live alone with happiness. May they attain final bliss of liberation. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Dukkham pantaca nindukkham bhayam pantaca nimbhayam sokam pantaca nissokam hantu sambe pipanino. May the Triple Gem bless you. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.